When was the last time that you did a self-audit on your online store? Whether or not you've got an independent website or you're selling through Made It or perhaps another marketplace, when was the last time that you went through and went, I'm going to do an audit myself? My name's Lena and I'm the very proud owner of madeit.com.au, the home to over 900 Australian artisans, and it's such an incredible marketplace, not only for the incredible traffic and the amazing customers that we draw to the site, but more than that, it's a collective of like minds. And if you're a handmade artisan and you're in Australia, we'd love to find out about you. Make sure that you're connecting with us. But also, if you're not and you're overseas, keep showing up to the Handmade Daily. I hope that this is really useful to you too. So when we're talking about doing an audit, the idea is with the audit is that you want to try and look at your creations and look at your online presence with a lens which is not your own. Now, I know this can seem a little bit tricky because we're so invested in it, and maybe you want to sit with a friend and get them to give you some feedback. But the one thing that I would say with asking a friend or a loved one to give you feedback or do an audit on your online store or your online presence is make sure that they're your customer. And I've got a whole lot of other videos about, your ideal customer and who that is. But it's a really important piece of the puzzle, because if that person is not your customer, then even though their feedback may be fantastic, is it relevant to your actual customer as well? So one of the things that I like to do when I'm doing a bit of an audit on my own creations, and I used to do this with my fashion label, this will seem really simple, but and maybe silly, I don't know, but it works really well, is that if you want to always be checking your online store, whether it's your website, your Made It store, you want to be able to check it on desktop and mobile and have a look through. Now, when we're trying to act as if we're our customer rather than ourselves, it's a really good idea to sort of take a step back. And I actually mean a literal step back. And one of the things that I do is that I go through and I'll have a look at my website, whether it's on mobile or desktop, and you almost want to literally take it away from you. So if we're talking about a mobile as example, take it away from you so that you can't see it up close. And maybe you wear glasses. I'm new to this world, so I can do this in a flash. All I have to do is take my glasses off and I'll be squinting a bit. But the idea is that you're trying to get a feel rather than looking at the absolute specifics. We'll go into that next bit then. But you want to go through and just give a little bit of a quick swipe and go through and go, does that all look like it's from the same artist? Now, it's not to say that your product needs to be all the same, but you want to make sure that it's a similar feel so that your product has got that brand essence to it. Now, if you were going to be doing, a proper self-audit, you'd be doing it everywhere that you're showing up, whether it's online or in person. You want to kind of use the same method where you can sort of get a bit of a temperature check about where you're at. Now, from there, you want to go through and start acting as if you're a customer. Now, again, I know this can be tricky when you're looking at your own stuff. So what I would suggest is that before you go and do an audit on your own creations, do an audit on someone else's store and see what you look for. Because this will give you the clues as to what your customer might be looking for your website, for your store, right? So each one of us have got something different that we look at, but there's a known fact that we are all selling to a version of ourselves. So the things that I will be looking for, I can guarantee that the customers that I'm attracting will be looking through a similar lens. So same for you, whatever you're looking for, there's a good chance that your customers will also be looking for an element of this. Now, of course, if you're looking at very technical aspects of your craft, it will be different, but that's why I always say, go and have a look at someone else's store, not in the same field as you. So let's say you do handmade jewelry. I would suggest maybe you go and have a look at handmade ceramics and go through and think about everything that you look at, right? And you can start building a checklist off that as to what you need to check in your own store. Now, for me, it's really important that I know who the artist is. It's a personal preference. If I'm buying handmade, I'm buying artistry, I want to know and see the person that has actually created it. Now, even if they're a little bit camera shy, right, and they don't have their full face in the photo, I don't mind that, but I still want to see who they are, and I still want to see the story. So for me, I'm looking for whereabouts they're based, what their inspiration is, what started their journey, how they learnt their craft, right? And I'll be looking through trying to find that information. Now, that in itself would give me a bit of a checklist for what I need to then check in my own store. Now, because it's not in the same craft as I am or as what you are, right? If you're looking at an artisan that you're like, I want to see what they do, but you're not across all the technical aspects of ceramics, well, that's the hints. What are you looking for? And then you can apply that back into your own creations. Now, this self-audit can go as deep as you want it to go. And there's a lot of other aspects when we're talking about the more technical aspects that I'm going to share with you in the Handmade Daily as well. But this is just going to get you started on starting this idea of a self-audit. Can you get that visual essence to make sure that it's got a feel? If there's a couple of products that don't make sense, ask yourself, why are they there? If they're not selling, but you just had them and you thought, I'll just put them online, does that make sense? How could you re-photograph them to make it so that they actually work into the brand? Then go through that checklist that you've made with the other store, apply it back to your store, and let me know how you go. Pop it in the comments. How did your self-audit go? And was there any surprises as to what you were looking for that you didn't actually find? Have a beautiful day, and thank you for joining me for the Handmade Daily. And if you're a handmade artisan, make sure you subscribe and follow along. These little snippets have been designed to really simplify and amplify your journey with selling online. Bye.